Please welcome Aaron Sharockman.
Thank you, Franek. Okay. Hello. It's great to be with you all. Franek asked me to give a 12-minute inspiration talk, and I decided I could do it in 30 seconds in one slide. It's a picture of beer with facts matter on the glass. So I think we can leave. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, right? My name is Aaron Sharockman. My day job is I'm the executive director of PolitiFact. PolitiFact is the largest political fact-checking website in the United States. We've been around since 2007. And anyone, please let me know if Donald Trump tweets in the next 10 minutes, because I'll probably have to get straight to work. We have published more than 17,000 fact checks in 12 years. And it's been a lot of fun becoming experts on all kinds of things. But here's the truth. As a professional fact checker and a job that I love, we've also realized that we cannot alone solve this. As I talked about if you were with me yesterday, there are millions of examples where, or maybe not millions, let's say thousands, of examples where fact checkers have corrected the record, where there's been misinformation shared and fact checkers have come in and said, no, that is false. And I believe in every one of those cases, more people saw the misinformation than the fact check. So this alone, fact checking will not solve it. So we started another thing. We called it MediaWise. And it is a media literacy project aimed at middle and high school students in the United States. We've been around for a year. We've trained 15,000 people, kids, in schools. We're helping develop a curriculum with Stanford University. And we're actually teaching a network of high school students to be fact checkers. So around the country, there are today about 100 students who are every day finding information online and fact checking that information, and then publishing their findings on Instagram through video stories. So it's a really cool project and something I'm really proud of. I won't be talking about it anymore, though, today. I bet you a lot of us kind of feel like we're losing, right? We're in a field, whether you're a journalist, you're an educator, you're a civic activist, you're in a place where the inconvenient lie is way more popular than, the reassuring lie, is way more popular than the inconvenient truth. I feel that way too. We live in a time also in the United States where a top advisor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, developed a term called alternative facts. Now, I don't know what this means exactly, other than to say, I don't know what this means. You've heard this in other ways, right? We've heard the talk about the post-truth era, the era after truth. So that's also, I would say, doesn't make me feel very good. It probably doesn't make you feel very good. We also have this amazing quote from everyone's favorite US president, Abraham Lincoln. Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it. Now, you might be depressed, but I bet you, if we polled the US audience, I bet you there's a percentage of Americans who believe this to be a true quote. I really do. So we are living here kind of at the end times of truth, right? That's kind of the story. A lot of people who cover either the intersection of media and politics, or the people who write about misinformation online, peddle this narrative that the sky is falling, the deepfakes are here, and quite frankly, citizens, voters, viewers, readers are too dumb to tell the difference. I mean, I think that's a story that I've read probably 100 times. I don't believe it's true, but I think overall it has us feeling a little bit like this. I think Farida had like the woman who was like, I guess I had the guy who's like, So we're in a little bit of a tough spot. I think that's the public perception of why we're here. My inspiration talk, if you will, is to kind of counteract that narrative. Thank you. So I'm a big believer in this. Small wins can have big impact. After the 2016 election in the United States, a lot of people, a lot of reporters, my friends, came up to me or asked me a question. They said, Aaron, you're a professional fact checker. You fact checked the 2016 presidential election. By any objective measure, Donald Trump told more falsehoods, lies, false statements than Hillary Clinton. Yet, Donald Trump won. Don't you feel like you failed? And I would always say, no, it's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to get people to have people tell people how to vote or change how people voted. And it really crystallized for me this point, that sometimes I think in this room, we maybe talk about the goal in a little bit of too big of a way, right? It's easy to say the goal is end fake news, solve the problem of misinformation and disinformation. I would argue that's impossible. I mean, politicians and people have been lying since they've been able to speak. Everyone has been lying on the internet since the day it was invented. I don't think we can solve for that problem, right? And I think sometimes, by trying to think about it that way, we kind of get ourselves in trouble. We get to tie ourselves in knots. And I hope we can think about this maybe in a different way. I like how it does buzz when it changes. That's kind of fun. We cannot be paralyzed into failing to act. I think this is a thing that I see a lot, that a lot of people say, I can't solve for the problem, so therefore, what's the point? Another way it manifests itself is a reader, a viewer, a voter goes online and realizes now today, thank God, that there is fake news. But then they just say, well, I don't know what to trust, so it doesn't matter, I'll trust what I believe. We're no better off. We have to do something, and small things can be successful. And, I'm just going to do this quickly. Set reasonable expectations. If we define the goals in more step by step, then thinking about the overall goal, I think we'll be much better off. I want to walk you through a couple things. So these are just things I think about. So one, I think bad is the idea is we can change people's opinions. Okay, so if there's a policy on the books in Belarus or in the United States that is based on false information, if we work hard enough as an institution or a group of educators or journalists, we can change people's minds. I think it's a completely wrong and backwards way to think about it. I think we should be thinking about how we can shape opinions. So I always talk about this. We have our beliefs and we have our facts. And what I just want us to get to is to a place where we all agree on a common set of facts. And from there, whatever you believe is your God-given right. But what happens all too often is we start with our beliefs, right? And we go in search of facts. And when we go in search of facts on the internet will always provide, right? And it might be a true fact, but only part of the story. It might be actually misinformation. It doesn't matter. We need to start with a common set of facts. And if we do that, I think we can help people reach the conclusions that they want to reach, but based on a common language. This is my poster child for this. This is a lady, she was at a Trump rally in Nevada. Like, okay, this is a person who I could never convince not to vote for Donald Trump, right? But I should never be trying to do that. I should be helping her understand more about the economy or immigration policy. And she can find any reason she wants to vote for Donald Trump. I just want her to find factual ones, right? Not ones that based on lies or rumors. We hear this all the time. If we only had more money or more resources, we could do good. I think this is kind of I'm sorry to say it, but I think this is kind of something that we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better. real change happens person to person. Who are the people you are most likely to believe? It is always the people that you know, right? Because the people that you know are the people you're most likely to trust. They are the people who, like this beautiful all-white family, very happy with their iPads, middle class. We can make real change by having conversations within our family and friends. One of the things I talked about yesterday, which I think is really important, is that you probably all know someone online who shares misinformation. Probably not on purpose, but they do it because it agrees with what they believe. And in most cases, I would guess that what you do is you probably see that and you're like, that's my crazy uncle again, or that's that weird friend who I hang out with sharing misinformation. I'm not going to get involved with that, however, because it's family, or I'll never change their minds, or I don't want to waste the time, right? My argument is that we should invest that time. We should invest that time not in telling someone they're wrong, but asking them where they got their information from, presenting them other sources of information, and then presenting information about their source, right? It may not solve for them, but hopefully down the road, somebody else will read that post and maybe there will be a connection. This is one I hear a lot. It's a good one. It's up to tech companies. They can solve this in a second. I really don't like this one. I think that there is a responsibility among the big tech companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter, to react and to develop solutions that we can implement, but we just can't blame them, right? As my friend, your friend, Billy Joel once said, he didn't start the fire, we didn't start the fire. This has been something that has been going on and on and on. It looks a little different now, of course, because of the speed at which information can travel online. But in 2012 at PolitiFact, we weren't fact-checking viral memes that were spreading on Facebook and Twitter. We were fact-checking chain emails. Emails that spread at the rate of your address book, right? The same type of misinformation, just packaged in a different form. So Houston, I think we know there's a problem. I'm a big believer that if we go one step at a time, thinking about realistic and achievable goals, we can make real big impact. So that's it, Veronica. Thank you very much.